This week on Hermitcraft.
If I'm not an idiot, he should stop right at the end there.
Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixelriffs, our writer is LoyXB. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Happy back to school week to all those who observe. Hopefully you don't get caught watching this at school, because the show comes out on Sundays, and most people don't have school on Sundays. So with that out of the way, let's educate you about all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with Cubfan135, who is here, never fear.
Near the spawn chunk, so anybody within 250 blocks of spawn, whenever we log on, they will hear, "Have no fear, Cub is here." That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome.
See, using the forgotten Minecraft technology of a cat, Cubfan was able to rig up a system that outputs a redstone signal whenever he logs on.
So this is kind of forgotten technology. This was developed by TwoName a long time ago, like back in 1.16.
Naturally, no Minecraft tech is truly forgotten, since we conveniently wrote it all down in the Minecraft wiki. But the point is that this, combined with the custom sounds mod they have running on the server, allowed him to automatically announce "Never fear, Cub is here" across spawn whenever he logs on, which has already jump-scared Azumavoid, and also will be real fun if he ever has latency and has to relog like 10 times in a row. Also, his base celebrates it with fireworks, which at this point will take any reason to do, being a fireworks factory and all. But Cub innovates much more into smart home territory by tearing down his previous dumber one, and replacing it with a much more area-appropriate deep slate tile and warped planks combo that incorporates a super smelter, his new silverfish-based XP grinder, and even a skylight catapult exit.
So, what is happening is we are launching through our entire base, and down below, falling onto a pressure plate, and that is launching us up. We also take no damage because we used a hay bale underneath here.
Azumavoid hesitates to enter the futuristic homes market given how much time his coffee maker alone takes up. We're talking, of course, about his massive Potion Brewer X installs that smelts a whole shulker box at once, inspired in part by the Rexstone compact brewer setup, and in part by applying Super Smelter minecart tech to 9 brewing stands instead of furnaces. There's even a shulker packager at the end, so you can get your order to go.
Okay, now it's about weighing. Oh, there you go, that thing in action. It's going to send it all the way to the top. Look at this. Our box of potions has been delivered.
Sure, keeping that stocked sounds like a headache, but not nearly as much as running the whole restaurant if Tango Tech gets his way. Luckily, he clearly had it enough with the potions, seeing how he's grinding up witches into fine red powder. Rob Zombie would be proud.
Are they done? Please tell me you're gonna die. Die! Excellent with the death!
Of course, with the latest updates, the raid farms have gotten undone, so Tango reaches for the next best source of redstone, especially since the drops from witches were upped significantly. So as a footnote, he rigs up a double hut farm for the potion women, and then the whole leg would be his progress on his plate-up Minecraft clone. The kitchen nightmare simulator he decided to port into survival Minecraft now gets an extended armor stand recycle machine that's also responsible for the customer queue. The menu item filters are also extended to include even the dreaded cake, and the overall player stress level promises to be less in the overcooked area and more in the horror game territory. Between that and the animatronic customers, yes, he's building 8 nights at Tango's.
Each day you're going to have a certain amount of customers you have to serve in your restaurant. For day 8, you'll stay on day 8 after that. Next episode, I can promise you, this game is not only going to be playable, I think it's going to be almost done.
The bizarre theme of redstoners and armor stands continues when Zombie Cleo is approached by Mumbo Jumbo of all people to help him figure out how the armor stand mod could be used to help with the toxic spill he arranged at his base. Turns out it can help by placing dead fish all over the place.
Already these have added so much life to this little area down here.
That's what it's about. It's about adding life.
Reviewing his progress, Cleo is more than happy with what they see. Clearly it will now be much different guessing Mumbo in the Guess That Hermit minigame, especially because the minigame is actually finished. What no one would guess is that Cleo also hides a tiny 3D model of Rendog at False Symmetry's base for her to eventually discover. In other words, False can have a little Rendog as a treat.
And then, when she finds out I'm going to put another hermit in, until we go through all the hermits, it'll be funny.
Joel Smallish Beans brings his own take on personalised gifts, though the things he brings won't fit in small packages. Fitting, since they are certainly not good, in the moral alignment kind of way. Following a fit of horse eradication, Joel builds up a billboard across from B00's place, only saying "Hi B-dubs," but saying it in horse heads. Naturally, the art project is literally rendered literally mute, since heads don't actually get displayed from as far away as blocks do.
It'll be a nice treat when he goes to here. Oh, it's quite hard to see. That's annoying. You have to come off the path. Stupid entities.
The giant shulker box he leaves for Pearlescent Moon is much harder to ignore. Inside, only a lectern with something Jack Nicholson would type if The Shining took place in the Minecraft end.
Howdy, by purper, howdy, by purper, howdy, by purper.
Guess Joel would know about successful businesses now that someone bought out all of his honey, then mailed it back to him.
Your charity was good. Someone has literally looked down on me so much they've spent 824
You are
diamonds on me.
actually a charity case. Like, legitimately.
Maybe they're just a big fan of my music.
Gemini Tay actually gets a reverse of the B00 prank, where she gets to build a billboard on one of Joel's buildings, and she chose to build her name accompanied by a holographic tentacle. There's no use joking about it, Gem and the Holograms came out over 40 years ago. Much younger than that herself, Gemini Tay is more of a dredge girl, and she can once again bring something right out of that game into the Minecraft world. This time pulling up in her nets the enormous medieval fortress with the satellite dish on top. There is, of course, lore, as there are gradients and baked-in shading, since the larger and boxier build actually provided her with enough space to really stretch her coloring skills.
This build is a research facility, so maybe these windows are one of the ways that electricity can currently get in. At first glance, I think it looks good, but it looks weird, right? It doesn't look like this belongs here. The flag is perfect. Nailed that shape, I think, and we've still got the flag lure going on.
XB Crafted puts the base in base work as he lowers the ground around the foundation of his ocean monument to give more room for ornamental arches. Hopefully the polar bears appreciate it, because it's likely to be their habitat once he's figured out how to decorate the floor level.
I mean, we could just leave it like this and just be like mob farm, right? Like, look at it. We could farm all the things.
In the meantime, XB returns to where he left off in Cubfan's maze, discovers the key chest, and makes progress through the trivia, slime blocks, and swimming portions of the labyrinth, although not without a few close calls.
Or is this like the same place and it's just screwed with their heads? I ain't putting anything past Cub.
Unfortunately for XB, just when he's got some momentum, the next section is full of guardians, and he sees enough of them back home, so he decides to wrap up his attempt there and return later for the final few challenges.
But where are we supposed to go?
The maze has certainly claimed its fair share of sanity, but meets its match in reigning decked-out champion and two-time MCC winner Pearlescent Moon, who beasts her way through the course in just 76 minutes, and according to a pinned comment, clocked in a sub-45-minute time on a recent Twitch stream.
Okay, this is just gonna be the matter of trying to get enough height to slide down to land on that slab.
The Postmaster has become the Maze Master. But that's because the maze contains significantly less junk mail, and the post is fast becoming a place where purpur and pickles are sent to Pearl in increasing quantities.
That I continuously advertise for the purpur shop in the shopping district. We sell all the purpur variants plus endstone. Here, take a free sample. And I kind of feel like we need to up it now. If he's gonna send all of these, all right.
We also learn that silverfish blocks show up differently to stone blocks when seen on a map, which would be useful to Impulse if Pearl & Co. didn't decide to relocate a bunch of the silverfish with a few poison potions and Minecraft's latest fly swatter.
Oh god, it looks even frightening.
While his server mates are busy throwing themselves around the maze section of Homedale, Joe Hills continues peacefully terraforming the area. He's planning an ornamental lake, which turns out to be home to a trail ruin, but maybe that'll just end up being a very old fountain.
So I might need to have some sort of like little cordon around it so it doesn't flood.
His Froglight deal with Etho has taken on a different shape. It's now rounder, because Etho's Froglight shop is getting closer to completion, and he plans to give out Slimeball tokens to the winners of the Frogger game. Joe has a huge stockpile of these tokens set aside just for him, and I think we've found a sequel to the Guppy Geyser ASMR. In a slightly more chaotic move, Joe sneaks up on Skizzleman while he's AFK farming mangrove trees, drops an invisibility potion that Skizz drinks without knowing it, and also launches all his flight fireworks in the process. Should know better than to throw off a man's grove.
Skizz mentioned that he's out of rockets somehow. It's a mystery to everyone.
Skizz, I realize I can't see you because I gave you an invisibility. There you are.
Yeah.
Skizz's setup is getting a lot more advanced these days, though. He now has a moss farm generating bone meal for him, and after a little redstone experimentation and some helpful hints, he's getting a bountiful supply of propagules too. The new optimized operation is productive enough that he can gift an entire shellcar of logs to Tango and Impulse for helping, although the mangrove shop itself gets 6 stacks, so he's somehow become an industrialist without also succumbing to capitalism.
79 diamonds for 10 stacks, right? That's a diamond off. Let's be reasonable here. We're going to say 4.
Maybe it's a lesson he learned from Mission Possible, requiring him to convince Scar to part with diamonds just to earn Skiz a token. But Skiz does seem keen on making his shops less convenient in the short term, considering he's making the floor of his snow shop into a powder snow trap. It'll pay off in the long term though, because the safe route through the shop is identical to the safe route through the powder snow room of his pyramid obstacle course.
But in either case, again, I started this off by saying I'm embarrassed. It took me so long to get a shop up, and now I'm doubly embarrassed because this is because I didn't get it done.
Impulse SV managed to dodge the pop-up purge, but admits he has 2 permits left that need shops ASAP. So before someone grasses him up to the popo, he grasses up the server, taking some inspiration from Pearl's flower shop in the creation of his grass block storefront, and getting Gemini Tay's help starting the interior. Of course, it's quite an elaborate set piece for a place you can only buy 1 block, but that's because there's also a minigame rigged up in the basement. It's like fishing, but vertical. A series of dispensers spits green items onto a honey block wall, and contestants must use the fishing rod supplied to hook as many small grass items as they can. Get a high score, and you'll walk away with a voucher to use in the store above and the reassurance that you've successfully touched grass that day. No, really, he says as much in the sound effects he's added to the game by the time Skizzleman plays it.
Congratulations, you have successfully touched grass twice today. Well done.
And finally, there's Doc M, who's been working on incredibly normal poker mechanics, like the water streams that deliver cards to you. Apparently, that's not even what the river turn means. In another attempt to master the elements, Doc finally gets a second wind burst book, so he practices wind bursting on some animals, armor stands, and finally Corrales.
It does kill me. Holy snap.
Yeah.
But I guess the rest of the poker game Redstone was a breeze after all, because next time we see it, the system is running flawlessly. He even adds a module that increases mandatory bets as the rounds go on, and employs an allay to help deal the cards, in possibly the most humane use of an allay we've seen since 1.21 launched. But despite currently being in an open-air trench, this is very much meant to be an underground gambling den, which is why he's not building it in the server's growing minigame district. I guess we'll see how easy it is to run a speakeasy in a server with proximity voice chat.
So check it out, Docky's there too.
Congratulations, you have successfully
Why did I go up twice?
Congratulations, you have successfully
Why did I go up twice?
And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is Pixel Riffs. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.